Good morning. We're back. All right. We're back, and we're back to being a rustacean. Or hopefully we're going to try to be a rustacean. That's the goal. It's kind of cold in my house. Might need a blanket. It's kind of cold. Yeah, I think I might go get. Hey, good morning, Oblivion. I'm in the middle of a breakfast at the right time for the first time in months. Nice. Good day, Omanian. Thank you guys for showing up on Twitch. Appreciate y'all. Good morning. Good morning, Almighty. First YouTube chatter. Good to see you guys. I think I might actually. I think I'm gonna go get a blanket real quick. It's kind of cold in my house. One sec. All right, I'm here. I'm back. Back to Rustin. All right, let's lock in. I think where we left off yesterday was a quiz. I think we have to do a quiz to start the day. Oh, whoops, that's wrong. I keep doing that. I keep going to the wrong place. There we go. Alrighty, alrighty. I think we're doing a quiz, and then we have to do lifetimes. Good morning, Happy. Hey, Steve. Have a blast day. Great work, man. Thanks, Happy. That's so kind of you to stop in and send such positive vibes my way. It's very kind of you. So thank you. I hope you have a blessed day too. All right. So, good morning, sweet car. Yes, good morning, good evening. What is even time? What does today even mean? It's all relative. All right. An imaginary magical school has a new report card. Has a new report card generation system in Rust. Watching YouTube? Okay, Ilmanian. Nice. YouTube sounds good. Currently, the system only supports creating report cards where the student's grade is represented numerically. However, the school also issues alphabetical grades. It needs to be able to print both types of report cards. Okay, cool. We can support that. Good morning, Duck Boy. Make the necessary code changes in the strict report card and the impl block to support our alphabetical report cards, in addition to numerical ones. All right, so what are we looking for here on the what are we looking for here? So the question is, you need to be able to support either type of grade. And when you call print, it should print, I guess, whatever grade was passed in. Yeah? So I'm guessing you could have a generic that's like this. And we could say grade is T. That's what I'm thinking. And then this guy is going to say adjust the input block. So this is where we put a T here. And maybe a T here. And then I guess this is where we'd have to match on the type of T when we print. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to use T in the context of print. I wonder if this is where they want us to use some sort of trait or something. I'm pretty confident this is what we're supposed to do. I'm not so confident what I'm supposed to do here. Okay. We're gonna go Google searching. In Rust, I have a wrapper class that has a generic value type T. I want a print function that has support for printing that value. How do I do this? The T debug trait bound means this method is only available for wrapper T. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's what I wanted to do. But do I want debug? Is that really what I want? Because this talks about display. If you want to use the cleaner format, you have to use display. Yeah, this is what I want. Display cannot be automatically derived, so you would need to implement for custom types, but it works for basic types. Okay, so then I guess I would do T display. I need to bring that in. There we go. Okay, that wasn't terribly painful. I had no idea what they wanted me to do here, though. So credit for that one goes to Google or Gemini or something like that. I think traits are pretty neat. Good morning, Minecraft Wolfie. Watching two things at the same time, good for my dopamine. Yeah, get all the dopamine you can, man. Get it while the getting's good. Good morning, Blackfire. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome into the stream. We're going to try to do some rusting today. I have about 30 more exercises to go. Alright, we're on lifetime. So I did lifetime 1 yesterday. Now I have to do lifetime 2. Don't change this function. Okay. Fix the compiler error by moving one line. Okay, I think I can fix this by moving let string 2 here. Yeah. So all I did was move string 2 to a larger scope than string 1. What if I put it here? That will work too. It just can't be inside here. I think the biggest thing about lifetimes is the fact that your lifetime syntax doesn't change how long a reference lives. It just communicates the relationship between references. I think that's the important thing to remember. Lifetimes are also needed when structs hold references. Fix the compiler errors about this struct. Okay, so this is where we'd probably specify a generic lifetime parameter like this. And then we would use that here, which is basically saying that these live as long as the book lives. Oops. Ahmed Nassar, what is your role mate? I'm a 32-year-old dad of 2 who lives in Kansas, and I like to deal with programming and coding related things on the internet. Or do you mean like what's my job? Like what do I do for work? How do I make money? Is that what you're asking, Ahmed? Lurk away, Omanian. Good morning, damn don't care. Good to see you. Blackfire loves some rustin. That's what my joints are doing. Yeah, when I say let's do some rustin, it actually sounds like we're getting worse. Good morning, crew. Good to see you, man. Ahmed, if that's what you meant, you can actually do exclamation point LinkedIn in the chat, and you can actually find all my professional history over there on the LinkedIns. But as my day job is as a quality engineer, so I write manual and automated tests for a web application. Blackfire, are you just doing rustlings? I don't think so. I think we'll work on that Notepad app a lot. I went ham on the Notepad app last night. I wrote the most Rust I've ever written in my entire life. Yeah. And I created a couple branches too for people so that you guys can kind of go, if you're interested, you can see what I did. But I completely slashed and burned the Notepad app last night. It was a lot of fun. It kind of proved to me that I actually do know a little bit of Rust. Let's see. So I did like a huge refactor. So basically everything is now kind of like modularized. So I separated everything out into separate modules. So here's what main looks like now. It's way cleaner. I think it's like 100 lines or less. Yeah, very succinct. And then I moved everything into separate modules and just separated a bunch of stuff. Like I put all the state logic in here. So like all the different actions that we were doing against the state, I just encapsulated them into the state. And then I think the best thing I did was I moved all of the action, like all the handlers, into separate methods. And then all I do in the view or in the main function is I just react to the message. So message, and then pass in the handler and call whatever the right handler is. So this came out very nice. So I'll work on this a little bit more today. There's some more features I want to add, but the big refactor is now done. Oh, the other thing I did too last night was I figured out the async file loading, which was way simpler than I thought it was going to be. This is basically what I did with the async file loading. Let's see, where is it? IO, I think that's what I called it. So I basically moved the file picking and reading the file from disk or writing the file to disk. I just did that all in a single function. And then the way you do this in iced is iced, instead of returning task none from your handler, you return, what do you return? You return task perform. Here you go. So right here. So instead of doing task none, you return task perform. And so what that does is it basically says, okay, create a future, run that future, and then once you're done running that future, produce a message, and then you can react to this message. That's basically what you do. So it wasn't as complicated as I thought it was going to be. The one thing I kind of screwed up when I was doing this, though, was you have to enable a specific feature in iced to make this work. Where is it? So iced has like built-in support for Tokyo, but you have to enable it by default. So you got to install Tokyo, and then you enable the FS feature, and then you also enable the Tokyo feature. If you don't enable, what I found out was if you don't enable the Tokyo feature, your app blows up when you try to use Tokyo inside, or when you try to do async calls inside of the iced, I guess inside the iced call stack, I don't know. You get some message that prints on the terminal that says a reactor is not running. One sec. Now I'm getting hot. I honestly like that Notepad app. Oh, thanks, man. I'm going to try to make it look nice now. I think it's got pretty decent functionality now, but I'm going to try to make it look nicer. Oh, the other thing I added too was syntax highlighting. So theoretically, we could use ZoAE now to build ZoAE. So if we do this, if we do cargo, or not cargo, ZoAE, and then we do, and we open it. So we open a Rust file, like main.rs. Oh, I thought I added. Was that not last night? Could have sworn I added syntax highlighting. I don't know. I guess I made that up. Maybe I thought about doing it, but I didn't do it. I can't remember. Oh, no, I don't think I published it. That's why. Sorry. It's there. It's just, it's only here. It's only in the app itself. I don't think I've published it. Are you interested in moving to a distributed systems engineering role? No, I mean, I like the company I work for. I like the role I'm in. I've gotten that question a couple times before on stream. I mean, unless like you're offering one, you want to pay me a lot of money. But like I enjoy the company I work for. I love the people I work with. And so right now I kind of get the best of both worlds. Is I get to be involved with professional software development, and then on the side I get to do as much of my own development as I want. So I get to have my cake and eat it too, so to speak, which is really nice. I think if I contribute anything, it'll be to do with the themes. I love themes for some reason. Go for it, man. Yeah. Well, you can definitely add support for themes to this. Let's see, main. Yeah, there you go. So now we've got like really basic syntax highlighting, which is pretty cool, I think. So yeah, it's coming along. I need to figure out all the styling. Like the styling is just not it, but I'm kind of avoiding doing that because the dev loop for this app is kind of painful. Like you got to restart the application every time you want to see the styles be updated, and it's like going back in time in web development. It's like working pre-hot reload in .NET. So we'll do a little bit of that today. But first, rustlings, because we're at the 67th exercise of 94, so we're actually making really good progress. All right, what are we doing here? We're learning about testing now, my favorite topic. Hey Steve, why don't you make a complete GitHub course? I don't know. I guess I just feel like other people have made good courses, and I'm not really a course maker or necessarily really a teacher. You know, like I like to share what I'm learning or share what I've learned and what I'm doing and building and stuff, but I don't necessarily want to be, I don't really want to position myself as an authority because I don't know if I really am an authority. You know, when I look at guys like Nick Chapsis or, um, you know, just like I look at other people and I think, man, that guy's, you know, he's an authority. That's who we should be learning from. I don't put myself in that category. I guess that's why. And also, as far as like my Git Ninja skills, my Git Ninja skills are very rudimentary. Like I know how to do like Git add, Git commit, Git rebase, fetch, checkout, delete. I know how to do like all the very basic operations, but if I have to do anything more complex than that, I gotta ask Gemini or Google it. So that's why. Long story short. Or short answer long, depending on how you look at it. See, import is even. You can use a wildcard import everything in the outer module, okay? To do test, the function is within some value. So I think what they're talking about here is I can do super star right? And that will bring in everything from the outer. Or am I making this up? Okay, obviously I don't know that syntax. I know they've done it before in their tests. Use super. Use super. Oh, I did find out yesterday when I was doing all that refactor, I did find out about the use crate syntax. When I was learning about how can I separate my code into separate modules and reuse it within the same crate. So that was kind of cool. All right. And now what we want to do is we want to say test the function is even with that with some values. Okay, so this should be pretty straightforward. We'll say is even, and we'll pass in 77, and that should be false. Format must be a string literal. You might be missing what? Asserts that a Boolean expression is true at runtime. Let's see, expected 77 to be false. So I guess we have to invert this. So is even equals false. So we're basically saying this should be true. So we're saying with that. So we say is even 8 should equal true. Expected 8 to be true. Clippy doesn't like something about how I've written that. Equality checks against true are what? Equality checks against true can be replaced by negation. I think negation is bad. I think negation is difficult to read. As you can tell, I'm traumatized from some past experience where I missed that there was an exclamation point somewhere and spent way too long debugging an issue. Let's see, 8 is an even number. Booyah. Booyah. Test 2. Calculates the power of 2 using a bit shift. I suck at bit operators. I suck at it so bad. Let's see. Calculates the power of 2 using a bit shift. 1 bit shift in is equivalent to 2 to the power of n. Okay. To test the function power of 2 with some values. Okay. So we do power. I guess I don't have to do anything with the bit operation. I just call it power of 2. We'll do that. This will be 4. Oops. I will do power of 2, 4, 16. Power of 2, 6 is 36, right? Over 2, 8. What's 8 times 8? 64? Left 64, right 36. Line 19. Do I not understand how math works? What? 6 to the power of 2? Questioning all reality. It should be right. The power of 2 should be 36. Do I need to fix this code or something? I'm stumped. Also, this is pretty cool that Google can do that. That they can translate the natural language into the calculation. I think that's really cool. Okay, there's nothing in here. I do not understand. There must be a problem with the code. Gemini. Yo, I've got this operation happening in Rust. One bit shift in, and in is 6. I'm expecting it to be 36, but getting 64. What don't I understand here? So you're telling me if I do 64, then the next one will fail? 256. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is so then why did they tell me that? You're such a liar. 1 bit shift in is equivalent to the, so is this not a correct statement? I mean, I don't know my bit math, so So is this statement just a bald face lie? Oh, whoops, sorry, I forgot to. Damn it, I didn't copy the right stuff. Well, I copied the right stuff, I didn't copy it to the right place. Okay. Yo, Steven, what is the file epic refactor.txt in Zoe? Oh, that's it's a git diff that I accidentally committed. I wanted to keep track of what I had done, and then I accidentally blew it into the Git history. I see. Yep, you're right. I totally misread that. Yep, you're 100% correct. So yeah, this should be 64. This should be 256. I misread that. Yo, n to the power of 2 and 2 to the power of n are not the same, dummy. Good morning, Maddie. How you doing? LOL, fair. Yeah. I mean, I can actually, or I'll pull it out of there. Remove epic refactor. Git add. Git commit im chore. Remove evidence of my ginormous. I can't do math and I can't spell this more. Ginormous refactor. Okay. All right, what are we doing now? Now we are writing more tests. The different files are great though, makes reading the code way easier. Yeah, actually that was why, the reason why I did the refactor was because I wanted to implement the async file loading, and I was basically like emotionally, I was too overwhelmed by how monolithic that main RS file was. And I was like, okay, to wrap my brain around what I need to do to make this happen, I just have to I have to make this more understandable to my small little human brain. And it's amazing how much easier it is to grok well organized code. Like every time I organize code, it amazes me how much less dumb I feel reading and looking at the code once it's well organized versus when it was messy, quote unquote messy. So yeah, it was a good exercise, and it also showed me that like I did know Rust syntax. Like I do know how to use a lifetime parameter. I do understand how to extract things and reference things from different files. Like it showed me like I even though I've only been writing Rust for a couple weeks, some of the syntax is like seeped into my mind, right? Some of the information is there. But it was a nice way to spend a snowy Saturday. RayX, hi, yeah, back on YouTube to dodge Twitch ads. Nice. Damn Twitch ads. Damn Twitch ads. Actually, we got quite a bit of snow the rest of yesterday. Here, let me pull up my Ring camera again. It's very cold here. I think it said yesterday it felt like -19 or -11 or something like that yesterday. It's crazy. Bug report time? Okay. Hey, send them along. I'm sure there's bugs in there. Yeah. Yeah, so we did end up getting quite a... Hold on, whoops. I gotta sign in. Yeah, so we ended up getting quite a bit of snow, actually. Which is pretty crazy. You can see my dog went out this morning. This is as far as he made it. Alright, what are we doing now? So we have a rectangle. Our rectangle has a new. Returning a result would be better here, but we want to learn how to test functions that can panic, okay? It's good to know. Won't change this, won't change that. Let's see, print line. My rectangle is blank by blank. Let rec equals rectangle new. Oh, is that because those fields are... Why can't I access the field? There we go. With height rec dot height. There we go. All right, and so now what we want to do is this test should check if the rectangle has the size that we passed to the constructor. Okay, that's pretty simple. I think. So we'll do rec dot width and rec dot height. This. And then this one should check if the program panics. So how do we cert if it panics? Like a cert. Is there an assert panic one? No, I don't see one. So how do we do that? I'm guessing they tell us in the... Okay. You can't use the should panic annotation on test at use result. To assert that an operation returns an error variant, don't use the question mark. So there's like an attribute on here that we should pass? Yeah. We have to do something like this. We have to say trait or... What do you call this? Is this not a trait anymore? Let's see. Checking for panics with should panic. In addition to checking return values, it's important to check that our code handles error conditions as we expect. For example, consider the guess type that we created in Chapter 9. Other code that uses guess depends on the guarantee that guess instances will contain only values between 1 and 100. We can write a test that ensures that attempting to create a guess instance with a value outside the range panics. We can do this by adding the attribute should panic. Let's see. What is the difference in Rust between an attribute and a trait? They seem like they have similar syntax. I've always seen tests using catch unwind to test panics. Okay, interesting. ng Tontail Java forever? Get out of here. C# forever. Rayex, so you spent your Saturday refactoring your Notepad app. I spent mine writing about 1,000 lines of code to parse a search DSL. Made me miss Rust enums. Yeah, Rust enums are very nice, and the matching syntax over Rust enums is even better. But yeah, that's how I spent my Saturday. Basically just cozied up on the couch. Well, actually, I spent part of it. The first part of my Saturday was not spent coding, but like I spent probably from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock doing the refactor. It was fun. Damn right, C# better. Stratos, I'm glad you agree. I saw a video on YouTube yesterday that said I didn't watch it, but the thumbnail said something like Java sucked, so C# didn't or doesn't or something like that. Let's see, Java, C#, NDC. Yeah, look at that thumbnail. What does it say? It says Java sucks, so C# didn't have to. I've never written any Java, so I'm not trying to dunk on any Java folks. I don't know Java, and I'm sure Java is a very respectable language that we owe a lot to. We owe Minecraft to Java, so thank you very much, Java. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Okay, the confusion often arises because attributes like this appear to give a type a trait, but they operate at entirely. Oh. Okay, so attributes are tags attached to items. They are similar to annotations or decorators. Syntax: use this for the next item, or this for the current in-scope item. They don't run at runtime. They tell the compiler to do something specific during the build process. Okay. The most common point of overlap is the derive attribute. When you write derive clone, you're using an attribute to tell the compiler to automate. Oh, that's where. Okay, so derive is itself an attribute. Okay, that makes sense. Now I understand. Now I'm no longer confused. Okay. All right, so we just have to add should panic. Say should panic. This test should check if the program, or this check should test if the program panics when we try to create a rectangle with negative height. Okay. Then we just want to do the same thing here. Fantastic. Over in JDK land, Rex, just so you know, derive debug is in fact an attribute. It just invokes a proc macro to generate code with an impl debug for T block. Yeah, and that's Rex. That's what I was confused about. Was that like, so basically when you're working with a deriving traits, which is what I guess that's actually that question that I framed to Jim and I was a bad question. I guess my question was, why does, whenever I add a trait, or whenever I derive a trait, why does it look a lot like an attribute? And that's because it is. Derive is an attribute that generates code, at, like you said, at compile time. Over in JDK land, React should panic probably uses code gen with catch and wind behind the scenes. I guess we could ask. I don't know. Let's see. Does the attribute should panic generate a catch? Would you call it a catch unwind behind the scenes? Gemini will know. Gemini knows everything. No, the should panic attribute does not wrap your code in catch unwind block. Instead, it changes how the Rust test harness interprets the result of the test execution. How it works. When you run cargo test, the test runner executes each function. Normally, if a function panics, the runner marks it as failed. Should the mechanism. The catching actually happens at the level of the test runner framework, not inside the generated code of your specific function. The runner typically executes each test in a separate thread or uses its own internal caching mechanism to monitor the exit status of the test. Huh. So I guess it doesn't use catch unwind. It does something different. You never know, you know? Implementation details, you never know. Okay, now we're getting on to iterators. I like me an iterator. Alright, when performing operations on elements within a collection, iterators are essential. This module helps you get familiar with the structure of using an iterator and how to go through elements within an iterable collection. Right, I guess that passes. Yeah, I have no idea. Probably somebody far more knowledgeable than Rust. I mean, Gemini is far more knowledgeable about Rust than I am at this point. So I will happily defer to it. Create an iterator over the array. So this is where we do, if I remember from my code, my Notepad app, we can do myfavefruits dot iter. Excuse me. Now this wants to be mutable. What is that? What's the importance of that? Cannot borrow favefruits iterator as mutable as it is not declared as mutable. So next, next, yeah, mutates the self. So we have to borrow it as mutable. Okay. And then, excuse me. Whew, big yawn. So this will be banana, and then what? What will it be? Banana, custard apple. Avocado, peach, and finally, I'm guessing this is where it would return none, right? You call next and you're at the end of the list, you probably get none back. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. So that's a very similar idea to how you iterate over collections or implement iterators in C#, this next call. So I'm guessing under the hood though, you probably don't have to call next, right? You could probably loop over it if you want. So I'm guessing we're gonna learn about that next. So let's do let my fave languages C#, TypeScript, and then do for So can I for lang in iterator? Does that work? Variable does not need to be mutable. Okay, well why doesn't it have to be mutable here? Because I would think that this would call next. Huh. I guess let's do let first equals my fave lang dot next. This needs to be mutable. This will be second. Then we do print line. My favorite languages are this and this. First, second. No method named next found for array. Oh, that's because I want the iterator, not that. Oh. Let's just do the thing you're not supposed to do. The unwrap heard round the world. I'll never forget it. Rex, well, yes, but no. Rust for loops are syntax sugar for iterator invocation. Huh, so I wonder why then it doesn't need to be mutable. Right? Like why can't why do I have to borrow as mutable here, but I can do this up here for lang in my fave langs? Because you would think if this is calling next, I guess I would just think if this loop is calling next on the underlying iterable, why wouldn't this have to be mutated? It must be doing something different, right? Unwrap is just an assertion. Yeah, but it's dangerous, right? You're not supposed to do that. Sarif, did you ever try Claude, emergent tools for making apps? I think all agents doing the same foolish stuff, but somehow apps running properly. Now I'm thinking to make my own agent for my own requirement. I think it'd be fun to make your own agent. I'm in the process of trying to make my own coding agent. Yeah, I think it's a fun exercise. I've never tried Claude Code, but I've tried Claude. I've used the Claude models actually quite extensively. That's the provider we use at work is Anthropic. So I've done a lot with their API and a lot with their models, but the stuff I use personally is I use Copilot and which obviously Copilot has access to the Claude family of models, but then I use Gemini. So I've used Copilot and Gemini, both in the chat and in the terminal as well. I think making your own agent sounds like a fun project. I think people can get really far with Claude Code. It seems like people are able to build really cool stuff, especially people who don't necessarily have like a traditional engineering background, which I'm sure is very cool. I think one of the problems I see with it though is like Claude Code is giving a lot of people a false sense of their ability and their knowledge. Like I think you're going to have a bunch of PMs and designers who now think they're engineers because they built full stack web apps using Claude Code, which I'm sure is going to make for some very uncomfortable discussions. Because you're gonna start having conversations where PMs and designers are like, what takes so long? Just spin up Claude Code and do it. I don't understand. So I think they're cool. I think they're really cool tools. They're definitely going to change how software gets built. That's for sure. Good morning, Butterscotch. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out on Twitch. I appreciate you guys who hold it down on Twitch over there. Yes, oh, Phil. I think it calls into iter, which moves it out of the variable. 4 uses into iter trait to create an appropriate iterator under the hood and hides the actual iterator. Oh, interesting. Okay. Very cool. Takes care of it for me. All right, on to the next one. Rex let mut iter equal. I'm guessing you were trying to say something and got cut off or something. Alright, in this exercise, you'll learn some of the unique the unique advantages that iterators can offer. Complete the capitalization first function. Hello, hello. Okay. We have to return a string. So I guess what we would do is we would say so here so what is characters? So characters is a iterator. And so is match going to iterate over all these? Complete the capitalized first function. No, it's only going to return the first one. And so I guess what we want to do is we want to do first dot to upper. And then we want to add that to input. Is there a way to get like a slice? Like in Go, can you slice off stuff? No, can't do that. Well, I can't add it back to the input because that's just gonna. Oh, whoops. Got rid of the error syntax. Or we could do push. Because it's a character. So how do I say to string? There we go. I don't think that's right. I think that's going to give me this. So how do I get the rest of the... Is there like a cars dot min max last views? Oh man, iterators have a lot of methods. Let's see, Rust. Iterators get remaining items in an iterator. No. Let's see. Rust get slice of everything but first character. I think I learned how to do this and I've already forgotten. Yeah, this syntax. So we do an input 1 to there. See if that passed. Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, I think it passed. Oh, it's not running because it's not even compiling. Yeah, okay. Apply the capitalized first function to a slice of string slices. Return a vector of strings. Okay, you can do this. Butterscotch, how much more time are you going to spend on Rust? I don't know. Probably not terribly much more time. I do want to. I mean, I started wrestling, so I'm going to finish it. So I'll probably say maybe till at the latest the end of January, but hopefully we'll get done sooner than that. Hopefully we'll get done sooner than that. Good morning, Kurt. Voltaire slice should work. Nice. Okay, I figured that out. Blackfire. So also I fixed my tree sitter bug from yesterday. All I had to do was replace something with mvim tree sitter. Nice, nice. In the init.lua file. Awesome, dude. Very cool. Getting your NeoVim all set up. That's always fun. K trading. How are you so disciplined and consistent? I don't know. I don't know, man. It's always been a superpower of mine. Being very consistent and sticking with things and following through has always been something I've been good at. I don't know if it was maybe the way my parents raised me or what, but if I decide I'm going to do something, I can stick to it. My football coach in high school, he used to always say like one of the things about me was I never had bad days. And I continue to try to practice that in my life. And it doesn't mean I don't have bad days in the sense that like sometimes shit goes wrong. I don't have bad days in terms of like I show up and I put in the work every day, right? I try to stack a lot of small efforts over a very long period of time, right? And that has worked well for me. It worked well for me in sports. It's worked well for me in my career. It's worked well whenever I want to learn new stuff. I don't try to boil the ocean. I just try to show up, put in the work that day, and do that tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and a bunch of small wins add up over time. Um, but I don't know. I just don't have a lot. I don't have like a here's how to be disciplined step 101. I guess if I had to like diagnose the psychology of it, I think a large portion of it comes down to like your own identity. Like, what's the story you tell yourself about yourself? And I think part of the story I tell myself about myself is that I'm disciplined, I'm consistent, I show up, I follow through. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Um, and then that kind of drives me to try to act in accordance with that story. But yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any secret sauce though. Kurtz, I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good morning. Butterscotch, are you going to build anything with Rust? Yes, I am building a Notepad application, which we actually have working pretty. It's got pretty rich functionality already. Okay, Trey, thank you, man. Of course, dude. Yeah, I wish I had something more. I mean, I do have things that are more motivational if you'd like to hear them, but sometimes people don't like the more motivational, tough love stuff. So I know I try not to lead with that. My wife and my kiddos don't do well with tough love, but I do well with tough love. Like I respect kind of people who get after me, but I know not everybody really likes that type of motivation. So I don't lead with it all the time. GRAFP Savlon. I am 18. I want to jump in AI. Any suggestions? Jump in, man. Like today, sit down, figure out how to make your first API calls to OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, figure out how to work with all those different APIs, and just start hacking. Start thinking about how you can use AI to both implement features and also use AI in your workflow. And then if you want to go a layer deeper, maybe start exploring a little bit about how the models are built. You don't necessarily have to be an expert. Don't have to become a machine learning person if you don't want to, right? But yeah, that's how I just jump in. The only way you'll figure out what questions you have and what answers you need to go get is by doing, right? Like, oh, today I want to build a coding agent. What do I do? Right? And then you just start kind of piecing it together. Crow engineer. I set if blocks around my times. If 6 a.m. I wake up. If 7 p.m. workout. Drop everything I'm doing for it. After a couple weeks, it gets easier to do. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Time basically like I said I'm gonna work out at 7 p.m. It's 7 p.m. I work out. Yeah, just kind of delegate it, and that's part of. I guess that would be part of my K trading. I'd love to hear it. I think the viewers would feel inspired. Oh, okay. So I'm so kind of like Crow Engineer said. My advice would be stick to the plan. Fuck how you feel. Like I don't care what's going on in your life. Stick to the plan. Like that's one of my motivational things, and I stole it. Like that's not a Steven original. Fuck your feelings. Stick to the plan. Um, what's another one? Small steps climb mountains. Right? Nothing worth doing is going to be doable in a day or an hour or a single effort. If you want to accomplish big, hard things, you're going to have to do small, consistent effort over a long period of time. What else? At the end of the day, nobody's coming to save you. That's another one that motivates me a lot. Kurt's tough love is the best thing. Almighty so real. Yeah, fuck your feelings, stick to the plan. Nobody's coming to save you. I took that one from a lady named Mel Robbins. That one motivates me all the time. So your life, my life. I'll just speak from my perspective. My life is going to be what I make it. Nobody's coming to save me. My dad's not coming to save me. My mom's not coming to save me. No one's coming to make sure I work out. No one's coming to make sure I learn how to code. No one's coming to make sure that I save money for retirement. Nobody's coming, man. If you're looking around in your life right now and you're thinking, man, if someone would just give me a shot, if someone would just help me figure this out, it ain't happening. So whatever you want in life, you got to go get it. You got to go make happen. And I know everybody's circumstances and situations are more difficult than others, right? There's all of us who are better positioned to do those things than other people. But like, unfortunately, that's the unfortunate state of the world we live in. And I'll be rooting for you guys. Like I want y'all to win, and I want y'all to succeed. But I can't come and save you. I got to save me. I got to take care of my wife and my kids, right? So like, there's just this fundamental thing where you have to get deep inside you where it's like I have to help me. I have to make my life what I want it to be. And I can't depend on others or wait for others to come and make it so, because it's just they're never going to show up. Which I think some people find that depressing. I find it motivating. And credit goes to Mel Robbins for that one. I stole that one from her. Going back to Butterscotch's question. Sorry, Butterscotch. I was in the middle of demoing this. This is what we're building with Rust. So this is like a little Notepad application where we can open up files. It's got syntax highlighting. We can also do markdown in here. So we can do like hello chat. TypeScript, we'll say function. Let's make this a little bigger. We can increase the font. We can say function motivation. Return no one is coming to save you. And then we can preview that. And then we can toggle back and forth between this. We can reset. We can make new tabs. we can. Oh, you know what we need to implement with this? We need to implement the ability to cycle through tabs with the tab key. That's what we need to implement. You can save it if you'd like to. So yeah, this is what we're building. It's been fun app to build too. There's still more features to add, but it's been fun. And then you can close it all. Is sick. Oh yeah. I mean, I can't take credit. Like a lot of the code that is making that a really cool experience is written by a library called Iced, which is the GUI library. And then there's actually 3 libraries: Iced. There's an async runtime library, and then there's something that's handling the dialogue for picking files. That's RFD. So some of it is not my code, but it's been fun to wire it all together. I mean, there's a lot of times when I write code that's not my code, but yeah, just full disclosure. I didn't write all the GUI code. I'm sure that was very complex to implement, but it's been fun. Are we done this one? Apply the capitalized first function to a slice of strings. Return a vector of strings. Okay. So does it want me to iterate? I wonder what it wants me to do here. Could I do something like this? Let's see. Words.map. Ooh, iter.map. And then do capitalize first.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, Sumik, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Okay, what's going on here? Expected vec string global, found map, iter. I guess it doesn't work that way. Return the capitalized first function. Slices return a single word. I guess I should go read the chapter. I wonder what exactly they want me to do. I don't want to just do what I would do. Like, I kind of want to understand what they're trying to communicate. Whoops. I always do that. I'm not sure what to think of that capitalized first function. Is it bad? Is it bad? Remember to collect your iterator. Where? Oh, here? Consider adjusting the signature so it borrows its argument. Oh, that's probably because of the other errors. Let's see, processing. Okay, so maybe it is okay with me using a for loop, huh? Just for in over stuff. So we could do let iter equals words dot iter, and then for word in iter let result equals vec vec new, and then what are you complaining about? Expected vec string found. All right, I don't understand why that's complaining. Loops evaluate to unit type. Oh, because it's trying to return that. That's why. Result. Sorry. There we go. I was like, why is it complaining? It thinks I'm trying to return the for loop. So then we do results dot push, and then we have to do word. No, capitalize first word. This needs to be mutable. Cool. I don't know though. I think maybe you're saying that I could use. I think what you were trying to say is that Rex, it's unconventional. Oh yeah, I think you were trying to say right that I could use map.iter. Sorry, hold on. Words.iter.map. Dot what? Collect? Is that what you're saying? Consider wrapping the function in a closure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to make this work. Oh, I see. So if we did something like this, would that work? Well, why doesn't collect work? Type annotation is needed. Oh, okay, yeah, that's better. That's much better. I mean, this is basically effectively, I think, the same equivalent thing, right? But this is more like, you know, this is like using link in C# versus using your standard for loops. I think this is more Rustacean too, right? Doing something like this versus like this. Or maybe it's more of a style preference thing. If the function returns type collect call, type inference kicks in. Okay. Yes, map then collect. Or which is, how are things going, Steven? Oh wait, I'm off like 2 months. Yeah, things are not going anymore. Now they're rusting. We're not going, we're rusting. Alright, we'll leave that alone. Yeah, rusting. Okay, so I think what we could do then is we could do kind of the similar thing here. But now we want to join them. So how do I join an iterator? Methods that produce other iterators. Calling the iterator adapter map to create a new iterator. To fix this warning and consume the iterator, we'll use the collect method. Love it. closures that this is an important one. Closures that capture their environment. Many iterator adapters take closures as arguments, and commonly the closures will specify as arguments to iterator adapters will be closures that capture their environment. For example, we use the filter method that takes a closure. The closure gets an item from the iterator and returns a bool. If the closure returns true, the value will be included in the iteration produced by filter. If the closure returns false, the value won't be included. Let's see, we use filter the closure that captures shoe size from its environment to iterate over a collection of shoes. It will return only shoes that are specified size. Okay, yeah, shoes. So shoe size is what's being captured in this lambda. The shoe size function takes ownership of a vector of shoes and a shoe size. It returns a vector containing only shoes of the specified size. Then we call filter the closure, from the environment, keeping only, finally calling collect. The test shows that we can call shoe and size. We get back only shoes that have the same size, the value we specify. Okay. Improving our IO project. I don't think that's what I care about. What I care about is how do I join an iterator. In Rust, how do I join together a vector of strings? Oh, there's literally a join method. So join. Or should this just be like that? No method name join found in scope. Okay, so how do we collect dot works on slice. The join method works on a slice of T, which means you can call it directly on a vec string or a vec stir. So why does this work? Shouldn't this not work? Oh, whoops. It doesn't want me to change the signature of this method. Does not want me to change the signature of that method. S. So how do I mean, I know how to do it with a for loop, but how do I do it with these, like, fluent calls? Does it just infer that? Oh, that's cool. So how does that work? I don't understand. It's essentially the same thing, but how do both work? I mean, I'm guessing it's just based on the type inference, like it's calling into or something under the hood. Collect can collect into a string if the iterator T is a stir. That's cool. Let's see. Can you give me the deets on why both of these methods work? I bet I didn't copy it right either. I just want to understand, like, what's happening. How are we getting from a... particularly, how are we getting to a string in the second method? Is there some implied call to into? Let's see what Gemini says. Hey there, Zorik. Where do you get exercises like that? Zorik, I found this from chat. Chat recommended Rustlings. I don't think it exists for all languages, but if you want this particular bag of exercises, here's the link's in the description, but I'll post it in chat for you too. Sorry if I missed your message. Bob, didn't know you could do that. I did not know that you could do that either. It's pretty neat. Also, good morning, Bob. Thanks for being a member. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Zorik, thanks. Of course, man. Yeah, Rustlings. Wagatha, good day. Good day. Reduce and fold, maybe. It's the answer is always reduce and fold. Voltaire. Also, good morning. I don't think I ever addressed you. Hello. Hello, Raphael. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope your booping is going well. Where was I? I was asking Gemini to explain it. It looks like that you have stumbled onto one of the more magical parts of Rust, standard library. Both of these methods work because of how the from iterator trait is implemented for different types. There isn't an implied call to into. Instead, the collect method is a generic powerhouse that looks at the target return type and decides how to fold. Voltaire was right. How to fold the items from the iterator into that structure. The vector approach. The first function, you are iterating over strings and mapping them to new string objects. When you call collect, Rust sees you want a vect. It performs a straightforward operation. It initializes a vector, iterates through your map, and pushes each string into the vector one by one. This is the most common use of collect. Let's see, the string approach. This is where it gets interesting. You might expect that collecting an iterator of strings would only result in a collection, like vec or linked list, but string also implements from iterator. Oh, so if your type implements the from iterator trait, then if you call collect and you happen to be returning that or assigning that to a particular thing that is of that particular type, then collect will just call your implementation of from iterator. That's cool. The trait string implements from iterator string. That's very cool. The mechanism. When you specify the return type as string, collect uses the extend method under the hood. It takes each string produced by your map and appends it in a single internal buffer. That is really cool. If you wanted spaces between them, you would typically use collect vec, though collecting directly into string is more memory efficient if you don't need the intermediate vector. That is very, very cool. Yeah, I like that. It's a little surprising because you're like, wait, why does that work? But I like it. Raphael, vibe coding, nice. Trying out an ultimate vibe coding tool called Vibe Kanban. I spent $20 in AI credits in one day. More AI assistant coding, but yeah. So I'm curious. I don't think of all the AI conversations we've had on stream. I don't think any of us have ever talked about the financial burden of vibe coding or AI coding. Like, do you all think that it's okay that the expectation now is like, if you're going to be a software engineer, you need to be willing to spend actual dollars to write software? Like that, to me, that was always one of the magical things about building products or building software was like, it basically requires zero inputs. Like it literally just requires like your knowledge and then a bunch of text in a file and you can do stuff. But now what we're saying is like, okay, well, if we should all just be vibe coding and using LLMs, now we're essentially dependent on the providers of said LLMs, and we also need to have money to spend on said LLMs, which I think is somewhat unfair. Like, I don't want to spend $20 a day on vibe coding. I wonder why OS dev is so heavily Linux based. I would imagine developing for Linux is just a better experience, maybe. Voltaire, I would definitely look at their implementation to see if you got the expected method, though didn't know that into existed. Yeah, I didn't know. I guess it's not into. I guess it's not facilitated by into. It's facilitated by the from iterator trait, according to Gemini. Raphael, I mean, for learning coding, you don't need to, and in fact, should not use AI. However, for actual job, I think it's absolutely worth it to pay $200 a month to get a 3x increase in performance. I just don't, man. I'm not going to take $200 of my salary of my own. I mean, if the company wants to pay $200 a month for me to use a coding agent, that's fine. But I'm not going to take $200 of my own after tax money. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. Like people who are spending thousands of dollars a month. That's wild. Right? It's absolutely not okay. Yeah, it's. I think it's going to create kind of a chasm. It's going to create like a huge inequality gap in software engineering, right? Because there's going to be the folks who have access to LLMs that can afford them, and there's going to be the folks who don't have access and can't afford them. Bob, well, really, your employer should be spending that money, but yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's very weird. It's very strange. It's almost like, it's almost reminds me a lot of like in blue collar professions, you have to bring your own tools. Like if you get hired as like a welder, you get hired as like a carpenter, right? You basically have to bring your own tools to the job site in a lot of cases. It almost feels like that now, where it's going to be this thing where like, oh, you're a software engineer, well, you got to bring a coding assistant with you. You got to write code here with a coding assistant, but we don't pay for you to use the coding. So that'll be the next thing. LL vibe coding's hidden cost. Yeah, it is a hidden cost. Actually, funny enough, this has come up. I saved another TikTok the other day because I was blown away by the outrageousness of the statement, and I thought you guys might have some feelings on this. Let's see if I can get to the. See if I can get to my bookmarks. Maybe later. Let's see. Because when this guy, it's kind of another one of those Elon Musk TikToks, but it's not a different guy. It's not the same guy. It's a different one. Oh shoot! Did I not bookmark it? Oh man, I must not have saved it. It was really good. The guy, it's basically like a video of a guy claiming that he's spending like 30 grand a month on LLM costs, and I thought, what the fuck are you generating for 30 grand a month? That's crazy. That's wild. Maybe I saved it in my photos. Let me check my photos really quick. Damn, I must have deleted it. Could have sworn I saved it. It was so outrageous. That's why I saved it. Was because I couldn't believe what this motherfucker was saying. Oh, here we go. Recover. I found it. Well, I thought I found it. I know this is thrilling stream content. Oh no, that's the wrong album. I'm looking in the wrong place. Here we go. Let me pull this up. Dude, why is it so hard to get a picture from your iPhone or a video from your iPhone to your freaking desktop computer if you're not on a Mac? It's such a pain in the butt. All right, I'm uploading it to my desktop. So we'll see how long that takes. Oh, that was quick. All right, hold on to your horses, guys. You're gonna
Opus expenses.
you're gonna have. Okay, so this guy is like a venture capitalist, but he's like a legit engineer. I looked him up. He has a like a strong technical background. But now he's in venture. But listen to this. This is pretty wild.
My Opus expenses went from $200 a month to $1,000 a month to I'll easily crack 20 or 30K this month. But I'll also generate more code this month than my entire life up to this date. So it's a bargain at 20K, but my expenses are going through the roof on.
He says it like with such a straight fucking face. Like he just said he spent 30 grand. What did he say?
But I'll also generate month or 30K to I'll easily crack 20 or 30K this month.
20 or 30K in a month. What the what the fuck is he doing for 20 or 30K? There's no way. There's no way. I feel like that's saying more about him than it is about the AI agent. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying the AI agent's not bad, but what I'm saying is like, do people really have this expectation that to build software now? Oh, you guys couldn't even see the face because I wasn't on the screen. Gosh dang it. I'm so bad at this scene management thing.
My Opus expenses went from $200 a month to $1,000 a month to I'll easily crack 20 or 30K this month. But I'll also generate more code this month than my entire life up to this date. So it's a bargain at 20K, but my expenses are.
He said it's a bargain at 20K. A bargain at 20K? What the fuck? I mean, it's a bargain at 20K if then the thing you generated goes on and makes you 20K every month for the next 24 months and it doesn't require any more maintenance or inputs. But like, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm telling you guys, I'm not spending even 10, I'm not even going to spend, I currently spend $20 a month on AI related subscriptions. I'm not going to spend $100 or $1,000 a month. Like, I'm not, I'm not going to do it. Let's run the math on this really quick. More code does not equal more value. This sounds like LLM psychosis. It does sound like LLM psychosis. Let's run the math on this though. What is $20,000 per month compounded annually at 8%, or let's do 4% for 30 years? I guess I probably shouldn't have put the underscore in there. Yeah, let's just say you start with 20,000. You add 20,000 a month. You leave it there for 30 years. You expect an annual interest rate of 4%. Let's say, well, let's say 6, and let's say there's a variance of 2, and it compounds annually. I'm just gonna point this out, guys. You can give Anthropic $20,000 a month, or you can just take it and invest it, and you'd end up with $20 million. Oh my god, this is stupid. We are in a stupid era of the world. Blackfire, custom themes with iced is easy. Nice. That's good to know. If you could make a, I have a request for a theme. If you could make it for me, my request for a theme is a GitHub dark dimmed theme. I don't know exactly what that would look like or how you would do it, but if you could implement that theme, I would appreciate it. Thunderdeer, I might stretch to pay $200 if it generates more value, but I doubt it. Yeah, I'm not gonna throw my hard-earned money away on LLM tokens. Just not. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, I feel like $20 a month, I'm probably getting the value there. But I'm not throwing away hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars on LLM outputs. I'm just not doing it. ES Vanel, aren't AI companies bleeding money? Yeah, I think they are. I don't think any of them are profitable. I mean, aside from like if you put Google in the mix, right? Like, I mean, Google's profitable. They probably lose money on that side of their company, but they make it up in other places. But as I understand it, OpenAI is burning money, but lighting billions of dollars on fire. This guy's single-handedly supporting the entire company. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's crazy, man. I think it's absolutely crazy. In all the AI conversations we've ever had here on stream, I don't think any of us have ever talked about the financial requirement of using LLMs as heavily. Like, if you really are doing true vibe coding, you're using a lot of tokens, which means you're not just using like $2 or $3 at a time, right? You're using 10, 20, maybe $30 if you're really getting after it. So there's a big financial component to whether or not you can leverage AI. And $10 to me versus $10 to somebody else, right? It's not cheap money. Thunderdeer, it's like paying rent. Yeah, basically. If you get dependent on the LLMs, yeah, it's basically like paying rent. I mean, I've tried it. I can literally do 3 things at the same time and get higher quality code out than I would have gotten if I wrote it myself, and that is using 100 plan, not the 200 plan. I guess, man. I guess. I mean, I guess if that $100 thing that you generated goes and makes you $100, that was a good decision. But I think if the thing you paid $100 to generate doesn't earn you any money, like what was the $100 for? Like you just that's. Good morning, Big J. How you doing? Think about all the money tech companies scrolled away overseas, coming back to get burned in circular AI investments. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. The money situation's wild. Job paid for it, so not my money. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if your employer's paying for it, but I'm not talking about employers. I'm talking about you as a software engineer who's trying to break into technology, and now there's an expectation that you know how to vibe code and that you know how to use AI tools, right? And so now, as a student or as somebody who's trying to break into tech, you're supposed to be over here forking over let's say tens of dollars, right? Let's keep it small. You're supposed to be forking over tens of dollars of your own money while you're coding so that you can be able to show up on a job and say, well, I know how to work with Cursor and I know how to use Claude Code. And like that to me is kind of wild. Steven, I got either a good or stupid idea. Well, let's hear it, Artwork Studios. Rex, I almost think it's intentional to gamble on AI, will not pay taxes on it. I almost think it's intentional to gamble on AI, will not pay tax. You don't think you don't think you don't. I don't know. I don't understand the message. I think I got confused, Rex. Smash, not bad. Hey, I wanted to ask you, do you use any kind of IDE? I guess if we're putting like IDE in like the classic sense of the word, I use Visual Studio. Yeah, I use Visual Studio, and I've primarily been using the 2026 version since it came out, and then I use Rider. Otherwise, I use NeoVim and VS Code, which I don't know if people consider VS Code an IDE. I mean, you can make it pretty close to an IDE, I think. It probably doesn't have all the same bells and whistles, but it does have a lot of capability to it. An app that links all your devices together, which will allow easier file transfer. Sounds like a fun project. All right, that was my AI finance rant. I don't know. It wasn't really a rant. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it, because I think it's kind of crazy. I've been vibe coding. They can generate decent stuff very fast, but it's not higher quality than what I write. The longer they go on one project, the harder it gets to maintain. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it all plays out. Artwork choose. I know it's basically Dropbox, but like you can right click a file on your PC, click share device, choose a device, click send. Yeah, that sounds good, man. I think go for it. Sounds like it could be a useful tool. All right, continuing with iterators. Yeah, I don't know anything about mobile development, so I don't even know what it takes to get an app on the App Store. Raphael, to be honest, using AI also depends a lot on your workflow and how much guidance you give it. Yeah, that to me sounds like all the shamanism speak, you know? It's like, well, how good AI is all about just the right way you talk to it. Right? Like that to me is always like the vibe coding or agentic developer thing. It's like, well, you're like if you guys watch the Primeagen try to vibe code, the whole chat was just messages of people being like, no, what you gotta say is or like the people that are like, no, you should really try Gemini 3 Flash. It's way better than Claude Opus. Oh no, Claude Opus is a total game changer. I always let it make a plan first. I refine that plan, then I let it make tests, refine those, make sure they're accurate, then let it implement the code. This has led to production ready code consistently. I don't doubt that. It sounds like a good approach. It sounds like what you would do as a human developer in a lot of ways if you were given a spec and told to implement that spec. So it sounds like that's the right approach. I don't go in for all the well, if you do it this way, if you'd only do it the way I do it, it would be so much better. My approach is I ask it to generate simple parts of my project and patchwork it together. Nothing wrong with that. Maddie, I wonder if there's realistic data on resource consumption of AI. Probably not AI, but definitely compute, right? And I'm sure there's some amount of mapping can be done between the compute and the resources that are using the compute. But you got to imagine the companies who are running these data centers, they definitely have to manage the resource consumption, right? So they have to have some level of sophistication. Yeah, no, absolutely. You should find out what works best for you. I just looked at best practice for humans and tried to apply that to agents. It seems to work. I'm not claiming to have the answers. Oh no, I'm not directing any of that at you, Raphael. I appreciate you sharing your experience with it. I'm not. I was just when you said that, I was just reliving like all these previous things that I've read or heard of people, people saying like the on ever going debate of like what's the proper way to use AI to code, right? Everybody has these very strong opinions that they speak as like their truth, but they're not really truth. They're just kind of like anecdotes. I can see how what I'm doing is also kind of AI guru. No, I mean, but the thing is like it's okay if you admit that it's AI guruism. Like, you know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay. Like if you're like, yeah, this is how I do my shamanism. This is how I This is how I make sacrifices to the LLMs to get them to bestow their powers upon me, right? As long as you like acknowledge that that's what's happening here. The problem is when people like want to present it as like scientific fact, but they don't have any data to support their claims. They don't have any evidence to support their claims beyond anecdotes. Prime was priming it like he was messing with chat. No mistakes. You got to talk to it like it's a new graph. that whole series of streams is worth joining his channel just so you can go back and watch those VODs. His new thing, I don't know if you guys have seen his new thing. He showed this off on stream yesterday or Friday quite a bit. He's been building a NeoVim AI plugin thing called 99. And it actually looks pretty cool. Basically, it's a coding agent within NeoVim. And it basically, the way he uses it is it like opens a window over the top of the editor, and then you can like enter a prompt, and that prompt is in relation to a specific place in the buffer that you're working, and then like the AI agent will go off in the background, do what you told it to do, and then in the background it will update the buffer in NeoVim with what it generated. And it like you can see it like reporting its progress in NeoVim as it's working. It's pretty cool. I haven't tried it. I wasn't even sure if it was like something that was ready to try or if it was just him experimenting with it. But it is out on GitHub, so he did push it up here. Maybe I'll give it a try at some point. Still very alpha, could have severe problems. Oh, it also only supports TypeScript and Lua, I guess. So that probably wouldn't help me much with Rust at the moment. But I liked it. When I saw him use it on stream, I thought, that looks cool. I could use it. I could see using AI like that. When I want the truth, I'll open the Bible. That's a good one. I never watched the Primogen before. Maybe I should watch sometime. You should. His content is very good. I mean, he's a little like, he's kind of high energy. Like, so if you don't care for somebody who's really like kind of, I don't know if spastic's the right word, but just very, it's very high energy. So if you don't go in for that, like if you don't care for network Chuck, you might not care for the Primogen. AI is like a genius with amnesia and ADHD. Stephen Lewis stream. That might be fun at some point, yeah. It takes me so long to learn stuff though. Once I commit to doing something, it's like I'm stuck doing it for a while. I can't learn Lua in a day like the Prime can learn assembly in a day. There's something I really like from Ader. You could write a comment like AI do and then save and it would address your comment in line. That's really cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. Which is sort of what he built, but it's more, it's like not driven through a comment, but it's kind of the same idea. AI is the dude in class ripping Wikipedia. He's technically right, but doesn't really know what's going on. Oh my goodness. I gotta save that one. I gotta save that message. That might be one of the best AI comments I've seen in a while. Grand Admiral Thrawn, try to create YouTube clone? That sounds hard. That sounds hard. Well, sometimes right or sounds right. At least AI cites its sources. It does do a good job. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not arguing that AI, like, I use AI all the time to answer questions. I've used AI like 10 times this morning to unconfuse myself. So it's definitely powerful. Like, I'll never argue that. It's good. It really is good, and it continues to get better. And I'm sure it will continue to get better. We're spending billions of dollars a year as a society to make it better. You know. Excuse me. Reminds me of the dude who vibe coded some bullshit PR, and in the code it had credits of the dude who stole code from. I think it was Camel. Nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with nothing. I did. Oh, I did. I do have a hot take. I have a hot take. Hold on to your hats, chat. Actually, I don't think this is that hot of a take. I think that other people have had this take, so I don't think it's that hot. I think that all the current large language models, the mainstream ones from the big tech companies, Claude, I guess Meta, we don't have Meta's already sort of doing this, but probably Meta, Claude, Gemini, Anthropic, or sorry, no, I already said that. Which one am I missing? ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Meta. All those big companies and their models, all of their models should be taken and put into the public domain. They all trained those models by stealing the work of humans, of all humanity, without paying for it or licensing it. They should have that. All those models should have to be contributed to the public domain. Doesn't mean they need to give us compute to run them, but all of the models should be open source and available for you to use and take and do whatever you want with. Yeah. And if they don't want to do that, if they don't want to put them in the public domain, they should have to do two things. They should have to delete the model, like get rid of the model, start over, or you should have to go and license and pay for all the data that you used to train the model and any data that you then synthesized from the original data. Yeah, that's what I think should happen. Okay, I'm not okay. So there's other people that feel this way. Okay, cool. Because that I feel like if we get to a world where people are more and more reliant, and we have to be more reliant on LLMs, it seems totally unfair that now I have to pay you to use the model that you created from all of our work. Doesn't seem fair. It seems like if I should be able to take that model, and if I want to buy expensive hardware to run it myself, I should have the freedom to do that. Artwork from also Steven, did you add Twitch commands? What do you mean? What are Twitch commands? Like Twitch rewards? I did add Twitch rewards. Safe flow dev. Imagine the LLM model governments have access to. That'd be pretty wild. I don't actually like AI. I prefer a world without AI, but at the same time, it is too useful, so I can't ignore it. I will fall behind in 1 week. Oh, 100%, Raphael. You can't. I think that's what the Primogen said on Friday, and I 100% agree. You can't deal with the world the way you wish it was. You have to deal with the world the way it is. And if you're going to work in software, likely as a professional, you have to know how to use these things. 100%. We're all kind of, our hands are being forced. Don't worry, ChatGPT ads and chat goon porn time will pay for it to be free. That's hilarious. All right, back. Okay, enough. I used to think jobs won't hire you if you're AI reliant. Well, that's how it felt 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it felt like if you were using AI as a software engineer, you weren't a real engineer. And in 2 years, the feeling has completely flipped. Now you're not a real engineer if you aren't using AI. And now using AI is the only skill that matters as an engineer. Is what it feels like. So it's been pretty wild to see the sentiment in the engineering culture change very, very quickly. Someone said this somewhere, and I agree. AI is allowing the incompetent and unwilling mediocre to hide themselves, which is super dangerous. Oh, for sure. There is for sure people who are passing themselves off as much smarter and much more capable, both in their probably professional, definitely in their professional, but probably also in their personal life by using AI, right? They're responding to email with AI. They're drafting text messages with AI. They're writing their proposals with AI. They're generating presentations with AI. Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more there. It's just it's too good and it's too easy not to do it, right? And especially in a world where now you're sort of rewarded for it, right? Like if you're a Microsoft engineer, the last thing you want to do is come out and say you don't want to use AI to write code, right? There's no career gain from having that opinion. All right, okay. I'm sorry I derailed us with a bunch of AI speak. I apologize. We will go back to wrestlings. All right, calculate A divided by B if A is evenly divisible by B. Otherwise, return a suitable error. Okay. Non-divisible. So something is divisible if we mod A by B and get 0, right? So if we do is divisible, right? Yeah, is divisible. Let is divisible. Equals A mod B equals 0. And then we can say if is divisible, or actually, hold on, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say is not divisible. If it's not divisible, we return what? Error. Division. Else we return okay A divided by B. Like that. I'm never confident in my math skills. Why is this? Add the correct return type and complete the function body. Okay, well, what if I just do, for now, let's just do results. Well, actually, hold on. For now, I'm going to do this. Because I just want to see if my is divisible logic works. I'm just going to comment these out. I think it works. I think all my test success passes. No, it failed. Test success failed. Left equals right failed. Left is error not divisible. Right is okay. All right, so what have I done? Oh, if it does not equal. Yeah, so test success is okay, test not divisible, okay, test divided with 0 by something, it's okay. So we just have to handle divide by 0, we have to handle test not divisible.
I'd like to say something.
My cat just died. Well, it is what is it possibly suffocate.
Wow, man, that's some heavy shit you just dropped on us. Very random. Sorry about your cat, man. Assuming you're not fucking around. One thing about Twitch is the fact there's no character limit. That's pretty nice. But I guess it could also get messy. Good morning, Born to Shine. Good to see you. Sorry, I missed some messages here. Dang, it's 15 degrees Fahrenheit, negative C outside and icy, but we still have power. This is a modern miracle. Is that a plugin to comment code block out or just some hotkeys? It's just GC. I think if you're in selection mode, I think it works in normal mode too. Yeah, it's just GC. Or no, leader GC. So I guess that's how I do it. I do visual selection and then GC is how I comment and uncomment. And I don't think that's anything I added. I think that's just baked in to NeoVim. Yeah, I think it's just baked in. Steven, is it okay if I send a huge block of text to test for character limit? I mean, you can. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know what will happen. I guess my screen will just look messy for a second with your huge block of text. Ilmanian, gotta get the body out by. Ilmanian, that's the most random thing. Do you plan to stream on weekends regularly? I do every weekend, yeah. I just stream every day. I just wake up at 4 and then I stream. I just do that every day. There's nothing else to do at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm definitely not going to lift weights at 4 o'clock in the morning. Unless I absolutely have to. So yeah, I'll be here. Which GPU are you using? I don't have a GPU. This is my current specs. So I don't have a dedicated graphics card. I think I have an integrated. Yeah, an integrated graphics card it looks like. But no dedicated one. But this is my current computer that I stream off of. Maybe one day I'll have a really nice stream PC or something. My message failed to send, laugh my ass off. Well, I guess you figured out there's a limit. Yeah, I guess you figured that out. You're gonna do a binary search to figure out where the limit is. All right, what are we trying to do? So divide 81 by 0, we should get a division error. If we do, what's this testing? Integer overflow? We need to fix integer overflow and divide by 0. So if we are getting a divide by 0, we should, okay. So if b equals 0, we should error division error divide by 0. Yep, that's okay now. And then integer overflow. I don't know what the integer overflow is testing. And how do I... Integer overflow. How do I check for integer overflow? How to check for integer overflow in Rust? Huh. I don't know how to do this. Test overflow. You'll see a bunch with really cool features. Write your A and inspect the possible methods. Let's see. A dot.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, thanks for the follow, OG State of Mind. Or OG Mind State. Thank you for the follow. I guess you're talking about these methods that Gemini's talking about, huh? Wrapping negative. Saturating negative. I hate that Lua snip puts the, let's see, invim. Let's see. Neovim LSP stop. What is it? What do we call these menus? Like, how do I stop this thing? How do I stop this window from overlapping this window? Because it's very annoying. Do we call this like diagnostic information? I don't even know the right word. Eovem stop. LSP diagnostic buffer from overlapping. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think diagnostics is what I'm getting at. What would be a good way to describe this? Neovim LSP snippet windows overlapping. Yeah, here we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It was reported December 25th. It got no traction, and then it just died. No one did anything. When typing in LazyVim, the completion pop-up from InVim, CMP, and the LSB hover documentation overlap, especially when certain characters are typed. The completion window should take priority over the hover window, but currently both are shown simultaneously, causing visual clutter. And I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that I'm on a small window, because even when I make it bigger, I think the problem is still there. Well, I guess it's not there as much because it puts it on the right side. But it's so narrow. I know I'm completely derailing us from rusting, but I want to figure this out because it's getting really annoying to have to deal with it. Is it really 6:30 already? Damn. Can you get it to just show one or shift focus? Maybe. I will have to see. I don't think I can make it. I don't think I can fix it by just shifting focus though. That seems like a easy thing I should have already tried, but I don't think I can. Yeah. Whenever I focus the menu, it closes on me, which I think is okay. I just don't want it to. And there's not really. I don't know what I would do differently though. That's the other thing. I'm not sure what I would do differently to make it not do that. We want LSP. InVim LSP. Whoops. What other options are here? Just bordered, that's the only thing. InVim CMP. Yeah, that's cool and all, but how do I configure it? Let's see, by default, the custom menu is enabled. This can be changed as follows. It can be custom, wild menu, or native. For wild menu, you can specify the separator between items. Also, in the following, we can also set up wild menu in command line mode. Custom menu direction. By default, the custom completion menu's order is top down. The highest scoring entry appears at the top of the menu. No, that's not what I want. Don't care about any of this. I just don't want the menus to overlap. That's all I want. Like, I think what I want is I want this. Whenever I'm in a small window like this, I just want, if I type, like Oblivion said, if I type A, I just want half the window to be the bottom window, the one that's hidden, and then the other half, just split it. Like, make me a 2-column layout, right? That's what I want. Don't stack them. Window completion, win highlight, column offset -3. This seems like there's some configure. I'm gonna ask Copilot. Let's see. Good old Copilot. Oh boy, I'm reaching my limit. Yo, bruh. How do I configure NVim CMP so that the windows it displays aren't overlapping? I attached an example for reference. It's pretty wild that I can send a message. I can send an image to this thing and it will sort of understand what's going on. Doc window is hiding completion. This is now turned into a configure NeoVim stream and is no longer about learning Rust. Okay, and then what else I want to say? Here is my existing configs. All right, what's the over under that this thing hallucinates something really, really not helpful? Hello, Mark. Good to see you. Only thing I get back is use lsbkind to format the output. Well, I don't want to do that. Position the documentation window to the side. You can also use win highlight to customize appearance. If you want more control over positioning, you can use call offset side padding 1. And show it manually with CU, CD. Oh, that might be a better. The view setting with name equals custom helps NVim simp better position windows relative to each other. The documentation window will try to position itself to avoid overlapping the completion menu. Try the first solution. Let me know if you need. All right, what was the first solution it offered? It basically said entries custom selection order near cursor. Okay, I guess we'll try some of this stuff and see if it makes a difference. So now we're going to configure the documentation window to have a max width of 80 and a max height of 20. And then it added another entry here, like that. I'm vibe configuring. This is me vibe configuring NeoVim. That's what it. This is what Copilot said to do. So let's see what happens. Good morning, Danny. Good to see you. Max Fit, good to see you. See the message I sent above before I inadvertently send you on the wrong loophole again? Hold on, what? Sorry, hold on. Bob, I got Claude to generate an MIT license file for me, and it hallucinated my name as Bob Old Amsing. That's hilarious. Wait, switching to Twitch? Okay, yeah, see you over on Twitch, Mark. Oh, there you are. You are on Twitch, sorry. I forget that. I am trying to do a good job of keeping track of YouTube users' usernames mapped to their Twitch usernames, but I might screw that up from time to time. Artwork Studio is still trying to find the Twitch limit. All right, where were we? We were on Iterators, and we were looking at this one. Yeah. So now let's look at what Oblivious told us to look at. Yeah, that didn't help at all. It just made the documentation window really freaking tiny. Look how small that documentation window is now. Oh, now it's a little larger. Yeah, that didn't help at all. Okay, so what was the other recommendation? Alternative approach, if you want more control over positioning, you can use this. Okay, so let's try the second option here. We're vibing. We're vibe configuring. So we do window bordered, and then we say column offset. I don't know what any of these options do. Side padding 1. And then we do column offset 1. Excuse me. I did write that out, didn't I? Yeah. Write it out.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, thanks for the follow, Dev J10. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate that. Super kind of you. We're slowly adding new people on Twitch. Slowly but surely. Okay, that doesn't seem to have made a difference at all either. It's just like the documentation window is way too large. You know what I mean? It's like the documentation window is taking up all the screen real estate, and it really shouldn't. Well, damn it. This was a tangent that ended in failure. What happens if I just do none of this? Like, what if I just... Okay, this is what I had, right? What happens if I don't modify this at all? Does it just not show up? I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know why I always get scared by, did we just come... Is it startling? Is it too loud? I can turn it down. I think I can control the volume at which it plays if you want me to. Yeah, it just doesn't show up. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so there. So how do I control you? Control you? Control you? Control D. Well, I mean, this is better, but I'd still like to be able to toggle the documentation, I think. I want to have a 2-column display. I want the completion to, or I want the completion window to display on how do I say this? This is what I want. I want this. I want the completion window to show like this. Completion. And then I want
I like to say something.
I
Here we-
changed my name. Woof 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 woof
They-
woof 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 woof
You-
woof 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 woof.
You didn't have to change your name if you didn't want to. Hey, Ulas, what's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome in, welcome in. I want the windows to show like this. And to display the documentation to toggle documentation with manually. See if Copilot can make up for its failure. So many woofs. By the way, I completed Go with Tess after you said it. Nice. Did you fly through it? I bet you killed it. Perfect. Copilot's like, sure, let me tell you how to do that. The side-by-side positioning should happen automatically based on available screen space. I don't think it's not happening for me. It's not happening for me. So if that's what's supposed to happen, we have an issue. Oh, you know what might be worth... hold on. I just had a thought. It might be worth making sure that my stuff's up to date. I never thought about that. Never a big tester before? Yeah, I like testing myself. I know everybody has different feelings on how valuable testing is and how useful it is. I don't think testing's super useful for many projects when you're just getting started, especially when you have ill-defined behavior. But if you're working in a system that has very well-defined behavior and a large base of users and they expect things to be a particular way, I feel like testing is very useful in those scenarios and provides you with a lot of confidence and security, in my opinion. But I will never knock people for saying they don't test, because I know lots and lots of software is built every day and it goes largely untested. Okay, it doesn't look like now it looks like the documentation isn't showing at all. So what did I do? It just seems like this window is way too big. It seems like this completion window is just way too large. And I wonder, maybe if I just restrict the size of the completion window, if I'll have better results. So let's do... config windows, config border. I'm gonna do C E equals CMP mapping function. Hopefully Copilot didn't hallucinate any of this. Okay, and then for the completion, let's do a max width, of, say, 40. I never know what these units mean. Like, are these pixels? Are these inches? Are these... I don't know. How long have you been using NeoVim? Not long, like a year. Yeah, like a year. Probably characters. Oh, that's even better idea. Yeah, that makes even more sense. Like a year, yeah. So I'm fairly new, I still think. I mean, I know there's people who've been using NeoVim for many, many years now, you know. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working or having any impact whatsoever. Is it because I need a custom view? Is that why? Let's see. Do I need to set a custom view entry to set specific window sizes? Okay, I don't see it having an effect. So what explains that, huh? Blackfire, one problem with the themes is seemingly some text doesn't change. I'll have to look into it more. Yeah, I'm guessing there's probably a lot of nitty-gritty details when you gotta kind of crawl through the guts of how those themes get applied. But man, if we could get a GitHub dark dimmed theme working in my Rust Notepad app, that would be awesome. Dude, this is not working, bro. What the heck? I wonder if max width is set, max height also has to be set for it to work. Yo, accept me on Discord, please? Sure, man. Yeah. I'm happy to. Give me 1 sec to get over there. All right, my friend, you are in the club. And it is indeed going down. It seems like the best one we're going to be able to do is just not showing the documentation unless I want to see it.
I'd like to say something.
Slurp blanco fresh. Nyopzap ni hao gulu gulu mi xiao blur. So su kata pion pion fa. Omerba. Percent sen ns. Bonjour. Baguette fleuve.
What the hell is going on?
Was I luan dati?
Oh, you got it.
Shush.
It's silly. It's silliness. It's pure silliness.
Yui Hai Yang Maero and Ziv Hua Bli Larbiazi Yung Win Omega Vanana Mouse says Pero says Wolf Lura Exe has stopped responding Jongwari Nope Encore
I'm so sorry, chat. This is, I don't know, this is what we get when we support text to speech. That was like ridiculous. What is happening? Beautiful, yes, beautiful. That was awful, man. I've completely lost my train of focus now. Yeah, I've completely lost my train of focus. Okay, I'm gonna stop relying on Copilot because I think Copilot is leading me astray. Um, and I am going to start looking at window config bordered, column offset. Where does ops get defined? Okay, so by default, looks like default we have an offset of 0. We have a max height. Okay, so it looks like they hallucinated some of this because there's not even a max width on here. There's a max height, but there's not a max width in these options. So it looks like it's made that up. So I wonder what column offset does. I wonder if that's what we're needing to use. Column offset. Um, yeah. I guess that's what you get for trusting LLM. So let's do column offset and let's try the side padding approach again. So let's go back to my configs here. And so there isn't a max width, that's just hallucinated. So let's do column. Again, it hallucinated. This would be 0. And this would be 1. So what happens if I do that? This is the okay, so that did change something about how it displays that information. What were we doing here? Nothing here. We were on 3. Oh, these are the solution files. Sorry, I'm in the wrong place. So we were trying to look at A's documentation. That's what started all this. We were just trying to look at A, and we were trying to see the documentation. So it seems like, depending on what's in this menu, we get funky behavior, right?
I'd like to say something.
I have a lot of orbs, so may as well spend them. I'm a Loki watch a ton of Wyatt tutorials to fully figure out themes, LOL.
Yeah, go for it, man. I would love it. Oblivion Lua is a hellspawn. Changed my mind. Come on, Dragon. Use Copilot in different language, then translate it back to English. To Josh Call. I'm a CMO, CSO for tech company. Our CTO skills like yours completely mind blowing. Yeah, my skills though probably don't rival your CTO. Your CTO probably can like run circles around me. But I appreciate that, Josh. And nice to see you. Minecraft idea. What are you trying to set up? So I've had this ongoing issue with NeoVim where whenever I'm trying to do some dot exploration and I'm trying to look at methods and stuff, bro's too humble. No, I'm really I really I'm just good at stumbling through things. So I've had this ongoing issue on stream where because I work on kind of a small vertical window, whenever I open up the dot exploration menu, the documentation overlaps the completions, and so I can't see what I'm like selecting, right? I can't see what this method is right now. And then the documentation pane is really scrunched. And I'm trying to find a way that I can force NeoVim completion to like split them, right? So basically show me or ideally what I'd like is show me the full size completion window and then show me the documentation on the right side. Don't cover up the methods. That's basically what we're trying to do. Did anyone clip the part where I did the beautiful TTS? I did not clip it, but we can go back and get it, I'm sure. I record the streams locally so we can get it. Crazy. Random crazy thought. Have you tried making your editor window wider? See what happens. So when I make it wider, it lays out better. It's still not ideal, but I don't have the issue. But like for example, look, like this is way too wide. It's like this. Why is this 3 times as wide as the documentation pane? You know? Like that seems dumb. Let me cook something up. Okay. Yeah, if anybody can figure it out, I would appreciate that. It's just been very frustrating the last like 3 weeks of dealing with it, and I'm not sure what to do to make it better. It's very frustrating. And it doesn't seem like this has any effect. Wonder if anybody else has had this issue. Invim, CMP, overlapping, completion, and documentation. It looks like someone complained about it, but... Oh, here's one from January 27th. The documentation window overlaps the completion menu when on the far right of the editor window. Yeah, this is the exact same issue I'm having. Same here. It is annoying. As an aside, to me, it looks like it has something to do with multiple window open. If I have only one window open, it usually works just fine. Let's see. I can't seem to reproduce it on v17.0. If you can provide more. Oh, but I'm not using Blink. This is a different repo. Or I don't think I'm using Blink. Yeah, I'm not using Blink. This is a different thing. Okay, this is on the right repository. The documentation window obstructs suggestions when suggestions window is too wide. This seems to only happen when the windows are set to be config window bordered and selection order equals near cursor. See the screenshot below in the steps to reproduce this section. Oh, looks. This is okay. So other people are having this. Okay, I don't feel so dumb. This triggers the issue. I feel like maybe we should dig into this and fix this. For my testing, another workaround is removing selection order equals near cursor. This behavior seems to only happen if you're using LSB kind for formatting. Changing max width to a lower value fixes this for me, even when using bordered. Okay, he's not. It looks like he's. This is January 26th of 20. What? Oh, this is a year ago, so it doesn't look like he's responding to stuff anymore. I'd like to be notified, though, if this gets subscribed. All right, so what's the solution here? I guess the solution is you remove the documentation. Maybe I need to close it. Let's see. I asked Claude Sonnet, and it just told me to look up which LazyVim now supports as an alternative completion engine with better documentation window handling. Try this. Documentation border equal nil. I'm using lazy, yeah. Minecraft. That's why I don't like MVim CMP. It actually did the same thing to me when I split window. Okay, so other people have had issues. I guess I don't feel so alone now. But I thought maybe this was just a me thing. But maybe okay. So now can I do Control E? So it looks like now I've removed the documentation window. But I don't want to remove the I mean, I still want the documentation window. I just don't. Oh, hold on. He did something. Vertical positioning. Huh. You guys probably aren't interested in me continuing to screw with this. So I should probably just figure this out off stream. There's got to be a way to make it better. There's got to be a way. I believe there has to be a way. Never gonna give you, as a wise man. Pasting code in Twitch really does suck. It does suck. Side padding equals 1, column offset equals 1. It's also recommended this for existing setup. Bordered, column offset. I think I've tried that. I think I've tried that. Well, yes, as the kids say, I appear to be cooked. This is the one downside of using NeoVib. It's just the obscure rabbit holes you fall into. Huh. Like, I don't want to go down a big rabbit hole, but I do want it to work. You know what I mean? Like, what do these even do? Like, what does column offset and padding do? What does column offset and padding do? What should I expect setting these to change? Controls the internal horizontal padding. Well, that's not helpful. Controls the horizontal position offset of the window relative to its default position. Oh, so if the cursor is here, well, this might work actually, right? So if we tell the documentation window to display, like, what if I do like column offset equals like 10, some insane number, right? I know 10's not really an insane number, is it? I think LazyVim switched from CMP to Blink. Maybe CMP is rotting on the vine. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, so maybe it is worth for me then reconsidering what I'm doing. If they, I mean, obviously I should probably follow the lead of the large. Okay, so that definitely made it small. It made it like really tiny. It made the documentation like really, really tiny. I don't understand how any of the configuration works. I'm sure it made sense to somebody. Like somebody was like, "This makes perfect sense to me," but I don't understand how any of it works. I love the fact that we just have like NeoVib. Well, this was a 30 minutes of our lives we won't ever get back. Oh, that worked. So negative moves it off. Okay. So negative moves it away from the left-hand side. I don't understand. It's there's some bug or something where like when the window gets too narrow, it doesn't do what you would expect it to do. There's because basically what's happening right here is negative is moving it right, but then when the window is wide, negative moves it left. I don't understand. This is okay. We're gonna give up on this, and we're gonna follow chat's advice and just we need to migrate to Blink. is what I'm hearing. What a nightmare. So I just have to deal with it for now. Blink 182. Hey Ryan, good morning, man. Not Blink 182. I guess Blink the command line or the completion engine for NeoVim. All right, so where were we? Is it really 7:30? We were trying to finish this. We were trying to figure out how to detect integer overflow. Is what we're trying to do. So I'm not going to do anything smart. I'm just going to do the dumbest thing. If A, yeah. Thanks, Copilot. I'm just going to do that. All right. Now we need to do division results. Just clip NeoVim. Well, yeah. So we take an L. We spent 30 minutes on taking an L. I had written a message about this answer, but then also linked a URL, which I guess hid my message again. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just doing the dumb thing. I think Jim and I recommended the smart thing. When I searched Google, it recommended using some methods on the integer to detect that. All right, add the correct return type and complete the desired output. So we want to get the division of these. So we would do, this will be a result of type vec of type I64 or a division error. So then can we just return that? Oh no, we have to match against the division results. Wait, what? What is it? This is an iterable? So how do we, so we have the division results, but that's an iterator. So how do we... That's our side quest window. There's our... I don't understand what to do. So we're iterate. So we turn this into an iterable. Yeah, we turn this into an iterable, and then we're mapping over it, and we're dividing. So now we have, I guess, a... I guess what I want to do, I guess, is I want to say for results in division results. That's what my brain is telling me to do. So each operation of divide is itself its own result. Oh. List of results, result with list. Um, I feel like doing tutorials to like this are very frustrating to me because I know there's like a right answer, but I don't know what the right answer is. I know what my answer would be, so but then I find myself fighting between like, well, if what I'm gonna do is what they want me to do, you know, like I find myself struggling with like, can't you just tell me what you're trying to get at? Like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to get me to do? R. Oh, this needs to be mutable. I'm not sure what to do here with the air. Did I just do like E? Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with the air. I guess just ignore it. If you seem to be using mash for destructuring a single pattern, consider using if let. Okay. Try flatten. Okay. Clippy is just, I think, solving this for me. Okay, and then I guess here, this is where I want to say result. No, this would be a vec of result of type vec I64. This is a nasty generic here, isn't it? I64 division error. In which case, I think we can just return what we have here. Or we have a list of results. I don't know how to use all this stuff. Results.push. Oh, we have to map it. Or no, we don't. You just say results.push result. This argument has type standard result division, which causes results to have type vec division error. Oh, this shouldn't be a vector, should it? Okay. Ah, man. Okay, that's done. I found that wholly frustrating, and I also found the fact that I couldn't sort out the NeoVim thing wholly frustrating, so I need more coffee and some food. Let's see. Rust and NeoVim be kicking my ass today. All right, we didn't get any time to work on the Notepad application today, unfortunately, because we spent too much time on rustlings and we spent too much time on the NeoVim thing. But we did get to exercise 73 of rustling, so we only have, what is that, 21? If I did the math right, 21 more exercises, so we're getting close to being done with it. All right, chat. Is there anything you want to say to me? Sorry, I kind of ignored you guys for a little bit. See, Blackfire? Chug the whole pot, yes. I think you want to iter into the map. Okay, maybe I'll try that next time. Estefanos. Hello, Estefanos. Good to see you. Hey, Royds, what are you working on? I am working on. Hey, nice NeoVim Thank you. I'm working on a group of exercises called Rustlings to try to learn Rust. Let's see. Code ESX window equals completion border documentation equals bordered rounded column offset equals 5. Give it a clear gap so they don't touch. Maybe I can try that. Yeah, I can try that. Oh, I like the Bob Ross emoji. Pixel Bob, I like it. All right, guys. I'm going upstairs. I'm going to drink some coffee and I'm going to eat some breakfast and do some more work on my Notepad app. Hopefully, I'll have more to share tomorrow. I think I'm going to work on the styling today on the Notepad app. But I hope you guys have a great Sunday. If you're in the United States and you're a football fan, I hope you enjoy watching the football games today. There should be 2 really good games. And if you're in a place where it's snowy and cold, like I am, I hope you stay warm. I'm sad my Sunday ending. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Gotta learn Rust before C# requires a Neuralink. Yeah, that's the goal here. Before Windows 11 makes me turn over my bio signature to log in. Ryan, college is over. No good football games left in the year. What are you talking about, man? There's 2 big ones today. It's gonna be awesome. I feel you. You know, no, we all, to each his own. I get it. Good stream. Stay warm. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for putting up with all my frustrations. All right, guys. If you're new here and you want to come back in the future, the best place to find me is on Twitch or YouTube from 4:15 in the morning until about 7 a.m. in the morning. And then if you want to find me outside of the stream, the best place to find me is in Discord. Or us, I guess I should say. We're in Discord. Chat me on Discord. Discord.stephenfreeborn.com. Thanks for putting up with my text-to-speech. Dude, your text-to-speech was hilarious. The text-to-speech is like, if nothing else got done during a stream besides people playing text-to-speech, I'd be happy. I find it very entertaining. See you, Oblivion. See you, Codius. Appreciate your help, man. All right, Duck Boy. See ya. All right, chat. Bye, guys. Have a good day. Bye. See you guys.